Hello, everyone. Welcome to our channel. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
And today we're going to talk about the record-setting performance by Caitlin Clark. She had 19 assists, most in WNBA history, although they did lose 101-93 to the Dallas Wings, unfortunately. Hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit that notification bell when you do. Rob, I don't know what to say. That was her best game of the year. And I think that really established herself as an MVP candidate and a future GOAT, as well as one of the best players in the league.
Yeah, all I can say, Mark, is wow. One word for that for her. That game was wow.
And it ended the Rookie of the Year debate, which I don't think was debate before.
Like if there was any competition, but I mean, right there, it's just like don't even.
Well, I don't see any retractions from ESPN. In fact, I saw them going over the highlights of the game, and Andrea Carter just talked about, well, it was a good game. It really brought attention to the other players. She didn't talk about Caitlin Clark because it's like Andrea Carter's got to go too. She should hang out with McNutt, and they need to all be fired out of that station. They need to redo that station.
Yeah,
unbelievable how little credit they want to give Caitlin Clark. Rob, I don't know. Tell me your impressions of the game. I got a lot of notes here. I'll let you go first, so I don't get accused of talking.
Well, I don't have any notes, but I have in my head. I was watching the game. Unbelievable passing. That one pat behind the back pass, bounce pass. Like Cheryl Miller said, the bounce pass that she uses that was a lost art is amazing. And then also her ball handling was also a so-called weak point of her game. Not even close. She's breaking people's ankles, as the young kids say. And she's dribbling the ball around them, creating open shots. There's times where she was dribbled into the key. I thought she should have shot it, but she still gave up the pass to another player who missed the shot. You know, I'm awestruck. I don't know how anybody could not say that this is the future of the WNBA and women's basketball around the world.
Rob, I can't disagree with anything you said. I've been saying it for about a year and a half that she's going to be the best player of all time. And in my estimation, I didn't say it that strongly. I'm going to say it that strongly today. Oh. I said she had the potential to be the greatest player of all time. I thought she was the greatest college player of all time. Certainly her last 2 years were. I don't care about the championships. And Rob, you can just see that her ability to make her teammates better, her passing that puts them in a position for layups and wide open threes makes her so valuable. She will go down as the greatest player of all time because of the way she makes. She is the best passer in the history of women's basketball, and she is a rookie.
It's like Mark. It was like she was just like playing with them. When she's out there, she's enjoying it, and then she's like, the person's guarding. She's like, okay, you're gonna guard me. I'm gonna dribble by you, but all the time, like I said, her vision. That's what helps with assists. Her vision is like, I mean, she could see. She drove in one time, and then she passed it out to Mitchell. Mitchell hit that 3-pointer. I'm like, how could you do that with it? No one else has her vision as far as passing.
There were 2 full court passes that resulted in no scores. The first one went to Hall, and she missed the layup.
Yeah.
And the second one, she sent to Samuelson, and while it's in the air, guess who called the timeout? Hyde's called the timeout, and Samuelson gets the ball and puts the layup in. Neither one of those assists. There were several assists missed by Mitchell and Smith that didn't result in scores. Wide open shots by Samuelson and Hall and 3-point shots. She should have had 25 assists, Rob. Yeah. It was the most amazing performance. She had 2 behind the back passes, one underneath the basket that was nobody even would, like as the announcer said, I'm going to steal their line. Nobody else would even attempt that pass. And it bounced underneath the hand of the defender, Rob.
Right.
On a behind the back. How can you time it like that, Rob? It's unbelievable. There was one to Smith behind the back. Rob, I'm flabbergasted. I said the other day there isn't maybe 10, 20, 30 men that are better passing her. I'm going to say 10 right now, Rob. There are not 10 men in the history of the WNBA that are better passers than Caitlin Clark. And she's a rookie. So you ask me 5 years from now, that list is going to get shorter and shorter and shorter. In respect to the men in the NBA, I'm going to say around 10. 10
yeah.
people pass better than her.
I mean, I had the luck of watching Jason Kidd in high school when I lived in California, and I knew right then and there he was going to be a pro in high school. But his passing, I thought they were saying his peripheral vision, like we have our normal peripheral vision, that his peripheral vision was almost like behind him, and her vision is like that.
He's one of the 10, and we'll do a video about that. But he's one of the 10. But
yeah, I mean, and that's
you're not getting much more out of me after that, Rob. And this is talking since 1946. Okay, men. And we're talking men's. Women, forget it. The conversation is over with.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry.
Rookie of the year, the conversation's over with. Whether she's an MVP candidate or not, that conversation's over with. She's an MVP candidate. I'm not saying she's an MVP, but MVP candidate means top 5.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go over that in another video. Whether she's one of the top 10 players in the league, that's over with, Rob. She's one of the top 8 players in the league.
Yeah, check that off. So what's happening, she's checking off all the stuff that all these haters and non-believers thinking about that she couldn't handle it or do that well in the WNBA. All the things that they were talking about, Mark, they're all checked off. There's that list that they can say it's all checked off.
Yeah, her dribbling was fantastic yesterday. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And, I got some notes here, Rob. I'll go over Kevin. Okay. First of all, we can't miss. Boston played fantastic.
Yeah.
And in Boston, remember I said, like, on the Olympic team, they should probably add Angel Reese too. Take that back. Aaliyah Boston should be the young player on the team before her. I mean, if they're going to add 2 forwards, fine. Then add Angel Reese. I don't think Angel Reese is a better player than Aaliyah Boston. She's a better rebounder, but Aaliyah Boston's a better defender. She's a better scorer. She's a better passer.
Yes.
So I'm going to take that back. Mm-hmm. I said maybe Aaliyah Boston too in the same video, but Aaliyah Boston is better than Angel Reese. And a little, but she's a better player. And she's only 22 also. She's almost 23. She should be on the Olympic team.
And she plays defense too. She had some blocks. She had some nice blocks yesterday.
I mean, too. If you just while we're on the Boston, I'll go over her stats because she was fantastic. Yeah. 11 for 14, Rob, 5 for 7 from the free throw line. But she had 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 blocks. And that's with her getting in foul trouble at first. But then she only ended up with 3, but they took her out a little bit because she was in foul trouble. She only played 28 minutes. She should have played like 35 minutes, Rob. And maybe they would have won the game if they had. Because Smith was out in La La Land. Mitchell was like somewhere else too. At Hall and Samuelson couldn't hit shots. And they weren't as good as they normally are. Rob, if it wasn't for Boston and Clark, they would have lost by 50 points. Maybe 100.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a 2. It was Smith, 2 against 8, basically, Rob.
Smith was like what I used to say to my players when they passed the ball to the other team. It's like with her it'd be hello Smith, we're in red. Pass the ball to people in the red. She got the ball. She just tried to lob that one pass in. I'm like, no, that's not going to work.
So Rob, remember when I talked about this the other day? We had the Cheryl Miller video where I said, I've said lots of times, I don't listen to haters. And if you're new to basketball because you're just a Caitlin Clark fan, listen to me. Don't listen to the haters. I'm being objective about this. Listen to Cheryl Miller, who knows more about women's basketball than probably anybody, and she's probably the best player of all time. She said she had great handles. Some other people say she's a lousy dribbler. Okay, listen to Cheryl Miller, okay? That's what I'm going to say. In the month of July, Rob, she's averaging 20.3 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 12.5 assists. That's just the month of July. She should be player of the week. She should be player of the month. She should be rookie of the month.
Yes. And
she should be on that freaking Olympic team.
Oh, yeah.
She's the best point guard in the league. Even if Chelsea Gray was healthy, I don't think she'd be as good as her. But
I don't see anybody coming even close.
I don't know for sure. Sorry, Rob. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I don't see anybody coming close to her at all. I mean, not even close, Mark. I mean, they're like, she's making her teammates better. They're playing. The team is playing better when they do that fast break, like we said. And then when they start slowing it down, you can see they struggle, like they did last night near the end. They were struggling with their offense because the wings were finally figuring out, okay, this person's going to set us. And then the screens they tried to set weren't even screens. They was just like fake screens. near the end of the game. That's why they kind of lost it. There was no openings. But it's just that overall, she's making not just the team, she's making the WNBA better.
I agree, Rob, because she's the future. And Rob, not only she set the record for most assists in a game, which is 19. The other time it happened in the bubble, but to me that still counts. You're still in a basketball court. I don't know why some people want to discredit that, but Rob, this is a record for most points scored or assisted on in the game, 66, and she broke Diana Taurasi's record. That must really tick her off, of 65. Rob, it's unbelievable. She became the second rookie in league history, joining Candace Parker, to score or assist on 50 or more points in multiple games. There's all sorts of records. I could go through all sorts of records.
I told you, Mark, she's checking all the boxes.
First thing we have to mention, though, is the defense was awful. Clark's defense was okay. I'm just saying the defense in general was awful. Boston's defense was pretty good in the post and everything, but as a team, the defense was awful. 101 points to a team that last place team. And this last place team, by the way, Rob, is missing their best player, who was first team all pro last year. I don't know if I pronounced her name right. Satao Sabalia. And she's coming back after the Olympics. So they just blew an opportunity to get a win against the team missing someone who's by far their best player. She first team all pro last year.
Yeah,
she's coming back for the Olympics. So that was a bad
yeah,
loss.
Again,
go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, again, besides one of our best players, I mean, Sims. When we were going over the pregame, I didn't even include Sims. Sims had like 24 points. She was 10 for 17, 3 for 7. This is for the wings, 3 for 7 for 3-point line, and she had 9. She had 9 assists. Right. And so they made her look like a super pro.
Well, they're not a bad team. You're missing a first team all pro player. What do you expect? But they lost 17 of the last 19 games, Rob, and they found a way to lose to them. They found a way to lose to the Mystics, and they started out the game in that slow dinosaur thing. It wasn't fast paced. I know that wasn't Caitlin Clark's idea. Now let me think. Whose idea could it be? Like who thought of that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Sides, coach of the year, Sides.
Yeah.
I heard rumors that she was going to be the all-star coach. It turns out it's going to be Cheryl Miller, and we'll do a video about that, Rob. But
yeah, I mean, yeah, just and then the defense, like I said, it's really hurts them. It really hurts them big time. You can see why they're definitely last in the WNBA in defense.
Their free throw shooting was poor. That helped cost them game. They were 11 for 17, Rob. That's 6 missed free throws, only 64%. Meanwhile, Dallas Swings were 77%. They were from the 3-point line, and Clark didn't shoot well either, but the whole team didn't shoot well. It was 24%. Samuelson was 1 for 6. I mean, Hall finally hit a 3, but she was still 1 for 4. She can't hit a jump shot, Rob. I don't know how you get to this point of level and can't hit a jump shot. I know she's a very good defender. She's scrappy and all that stuff, but you got to learn to hit a jump shot, Rob.
Well, they're going to bring their game. They're going to bring their game in. Like the announcers made a very good observation. They're saying the Fever, which is true, the Fever either do fast break or 3 points, and that's it. They have no mid-range game like you see when you see Chicago Sky with.
That's true, Rob. It's a good point.
It's either a 3-pointer or it's a fast break.
Now,
you got to get a mid-range game.
Sorry, Rob.
Go ahead. You're okay. Go ahead.
Smith. It looked like she had a pretty good game, but she didn't. She had 12 rebounds, 13 points. She was distracted. Supposedly Carrington was in the audience. The person that was traded there, Sabri, hates Carrington or something, so she's all distracted. She had 4 turnovers, Rob, but they were really bad 4 turnovers. One was in the opening play. They get a steal, and she double dribbles. There's nobody on her, Rob. She double dribbles. Now, when Angel Reese does that and does a quadruple dribble, they don't call it. But when she does a double dribble, they call it. Now, in the NBA, they probably wouldn't even called it. But they do call double dribbles in the WNBA, which is fine with me because they don't call enough travels in the NBA either, which is fine with me to call them travels here. But you can't double dribble and an open thing like just dribble. There's no pressure. Just dribble. And then one time she wouldn't pass it to Clark and she dribbles it up court and then turns the ball over right after the fast line. Again, a turnover, Rob. And the last play of the game, Clark passed. I don't know why Clark passed it. The game was out of reach. It cost her a turnover, but Clark doesn't care about turnovers. She just wants to win. She passes it, and she doesn't go towards the ball, and the defender just cuts in front, and it goes to turnover to Clark. It's because she didn't go to the ball. At the end of the game, Rob, I mean, the game's not over with. Clark gets the ball, and I think they're only down by 4. She starts dribbling up, and after the turnover, and still her 4 teammates are all behind her still. She gets there, and there's 2 people around, and then suddenly there's 5 people around her, and she turns it over. Well, it's because her teammates weren't there for her to get an outlet pass.
Well, plus also when you're a teammate, you see like somebody coming on her, you got to say behind you. You talk like they didn't say that. Yeah, she's dribbling the ball up, and 3 players converged on her, and then the trailing players of the Fever didn't say like, "Hey, watch out behind you." They didn't say anything to her.
Yeah, Rob, they should have been there. And anyways, why she was the only one up court, I have no idea, Rob. But I'm flabbergasted by, and they got to stop people from getting easy 3-point shots, Rob. It's just like Mitchell's way off her person all the time, and just like, what is she doing? She's letting people she's making J.C. Sheldon look good by letting her take wide open 3-point shots. And I'm not saying she's not a good player, but it's a lot harder if you're covered in the 3-point shot than if you're wide open.
Yeah, Sheldon hit back-to-back threes. There was nobody
wide open threes, Rob.
Yeah, there was nobody with 10 feet within her 10 feet of her.
And that was the difference. They hit the wide open threes, which they shouldn't have had, and also Indiana did not. And Clark was giving him wide open threes. I don't know what to say, Rob.
Yeah, I was like,
that was a bad loss, but a fantastic performance by Caitlin Clark. She had 24 points. She didn't shoot well from threes. Rob, after the Olympic break, assuming she doesn't play in the Olympic team, which is possible because Collier didn't play for the 5th straight game, Rob. After the Olympic break, if she gets her rest and everything, gets her legs together, I'm sure she'll practice threes because she can make those threes. She doesn't really need practice. She just needs to be mentally, physically not tired. And she needs to not play 40 minutes a game. That's why her legs are not there for the shots.
Exactly.
That's why the coach Sides has done everything wrong. Okay, I'm not supposed to call her coach. Like Christy Sides. Someone told me I can't call her a coach. And they're right. Coach. They're right, Rob. They're right. Christy Sides has blown this whole season by getting rid of Celeste Taylor and not developing Celeste Taylor and not letting Hall and Taylor play on defense more than Wallace, who's not a lockdown defender, who played 0 points, by the way, yesterday, Rob. It's like, why? I mean, now their players are tired. We didn't say, again, and I have to repeat this. We didn't say don't play Wallace at all. We just said don't play her, start her, don't play her so many minutes. She's not a lockdown defender. The rest of her game is very average. She's not a starter in this league. She's someone that comes off the bench and rests your other players so that you can run and gun, which is what this team needs to do all the time. And that's why Clark has to play 34 minutes instead of 40 minutes, so she's not tired. And that's why you got to develop a backup point guard like Berger, either for next year or because Wheeler's – you can play Wheeler 5 or 6 minutes when Clark's on the bench. They can't be on the court at the same time. They can't.
In one of our videos, we were talking about trades and getting rid of people and putting people on the Fever team. I mean, what's really, really cool is that now that other players in the league are watching Caitlin Clark, who would not want to play with Caitlin Clark as a player? If you're a free agent, who would not want to say, hey, I want to play for this team. I'm going to play Caitlin Clark's team.
How many players in the league, Rob? 144? I would say 145 people want to play with Caitlin Clark.
Exactly.
Cheryl Miller would want to play with Caitlin Clark. She's willing to come out of retirement to play with Caitlin Clark, I bet.
Of course.
And so is Maya Moore. And in fact, I've made a video of this. I can't wait. I want Maya Moore to come out of retirement and play with Caitlin.
That'd be nice.
Cheryl Miller's a coach. Maya Moore on the team for veteran leadership. Run and gun. Whatever.
Perfect.
They can play now. They can play at half-court offense sometimes because Maya Moore can play a half-court offense.
Right. Perfect. There it is, right there.
Let me know down and below if you think that's a good idea.
I think so.
I don't know, Rob. Is there any more stats you want to go over?
No, it was ugly. It was an ugly loss. Thank goodness that Caitlin Clark. Like I said, she put anything to rest about her ability and how she can contribute to her team and how she is a player of the future.
Right. And Enrique played well, but she's a gunner, Rob. She was only 8 for 21.
Yes.
But, she also had 7 assists and 7 rebounds. So she's a player. I'll give her that. But her shooting percentage isn't very good in overall. but she has an all around game, and she made a clutch shot. I saw that they replayed that shot. Went up 97, 93. I would need it. I would need to see it frame by frame to say whether or not it was out of her hand. That's how close it was, within 1/100th of a second, whether or not that was out of her hand. I can't tell you one way or another because they wouldn't do it frame by frame, and that's the only way to tell. That's how close it was.
Well, plus that shot was just that it went in was like, what?
Well, she just shot it up.
Yeah, it was. That's the main thing.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
Let me see her do that again, Rob.
No, that's like a shot in the horse that you play.
So let us know what you think down below about Caitlin Clark's performance, and then the performance of the team and Coach Sides and all that. But right now, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit that notification bell when you do, so you get notified of our next videos. If you like this video, hit the like button. And guess what, Rob? Cheryl Miller is going to be the coach of the team for the All-Star game, and we're going to do it live for you. And that's 8:30 on ABC on Saturday. So we'll see you then. And our normal live show is every Monday from 6 to 8 Eastern time, except for major holidays, except for the 2 weeks during the Olympics, because we'll be going live from 2 to 5. And that's because it's prime time in Paris, and that's when the marquee events are. So we'll see you for that. And if you want to donate to the channel, we now have PayPal and the links below, or you can do super chats too. All right. And so we'll see you in the next video.
All right. Peace out.